Jimmy Flint-Smith. I'm an actor, stuntman, model in Los Angeles, California, and I just talked to Keith Andrew, and we had, as usual, a very pleasant conversation. And I just got to say, I love what he's doing. He's got a great attitude, great work ethic, and the guy's killing it. Keep it up, Keith.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network. It's episode 717. I'm here with Jimmy Smith. It's great to have you on the show once again. You haven't put up with me once, not twice. You got to put up with me for a third time. So my hat's off to you. It's great to have you on the show once again. And how you been?
Hey, I've been great. It's good to be back. Good as I can be, I guess, in the times in which we're living.
No, absolutely. Now, there's a couple questions I want to ask, but for people who want to know who you are an actor, model, and stuntman.
Absolutely, among other things.
And for people who want to see the quality of my work, how it changed over the years, you can see our first two episodes, Season 1, Episode Season 2, and Season 6, Episode 576. As you know, for being a guest on the show, you have seen the process of me becoming more developed, of being a more professional talk show host, instead of throwing crap against the wall. Now, after 7.5 years, say, you know what? I think he's really improved. And I think that was on your end, right?
What was the question?
Oh, yeah, you didn't get that buzz?
Oh, I got a buzz. It was a notification on my thing. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I just want our fans to know that wasn't me farting or anything.
No. I'm pretty sure it was just somebody checking in, seeing what's going on.
No, absolutely. So the question I want to ask you, everything going on with quarantine, how you been hanging with yourself?
You know what? We take the good with the bad. There's a lot of bad going on these days, especially I don't think anyone likes the quarantine, but you can always find a silver lining. And I've been doing okay. Rough times, but we make the best of it.
No, I agree with you. And it's always good to look at the silver linings. A perfect example, you look at social media. And that's the first question I want to ask you. Social media, can it make you or break you? But before you answer it, I'm going to give you an example. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, your numbers are going up because you're stuck at home. You can't interact with people. So you get to pretty much interact via online. You look at Netflix, you look at Hulu, you look at all these startup companies say, hey, we have great services. You're stuck at home for $7, if we were so lucky, $7 a month. You get all these great channels, but in a way, social media, it kind of takes advantage of the situation. But to be honest, after almost a year being in quarantine, you're kind of like, I want to jump out the window because you want to go out, you want to interact with people. You miss how things used to be.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, a big part of my job is being social and being out there, I mean, I think it affects everyone differently. For example, I'm in the entertainment industry, and people, if you were to compare someone who edits for a living and is in front of a computer screen all the time, or, someone who someone who works in post, just different, or even just someone who's not involved with the industry, who works from home or works from an office. I think it's a lot different because it's not so much of a social environment. Whereas even when I'm not on film recording and you can't really record anything with a mask on. So, I mean, that's like a whole different thing. At least if you do, it just doesn't look as good. Emotions all right here, you know what I mean? But aside from that part, how it's changed, I guess, the industry and just the way that people are in general. I mean, I'm out there hustling every day. I'll be going to red carpets. I'll be going to networking events, or just being in general, just being out there, get my face out there. So yes, it's night and day. It's huge. It's a very, very different atmosphere. And I guess to elaborate on that, it is challenging to get past that, but a big part of being in the industry, and especially being an actor, is to be able to roll with the punches and reinvent yourself all the time. And that's what I've done.
No, absolutely. It's funny because, me, I'm a big wrestling fan. Triple H said back in 2003, if you wake up one day and you feel old and decrepit, evolution has passed you by. And, that's the group Evolution. I send that to you, I will. And pretty much it's like you said, you have to constantly involve. You have to reinvent. Here's a perfect example I'm talking about. Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy had so many gimmicks, and people thought, you know what, we've seen the same person over and over again. He needs to do something. And he came out with Broken Matt, one of my favorite gimmicks he ever did in Broken Matt. And he's an example, someone who's 40s or mid-40s, and he's still wrestling. He wants to get back to the business, but you need to reinvent yourself. For me, with my talk show, I do different themes, different questions, and the same thing with your acting. You constantly doing different acting roles because you need to just, one, keep yourself in a right frame of mind, unless you go crazy, and then why not do something spontaneous? And it's always fun to reinvent yourself time to time.
It's true. And you know what? I think a lot of the people, especially that I've been talking to recently, people I've been working with, we all kind of have one thing in common, is that we're using this time, this downtime, to not only, get creative in our work and find ways to do that, but we're also learning new skills, and honing skills that we either haven't used in a while or new ones completely. Been working on my editing, working on some writing, playing piano, things like that. And, you never know. One day those are going to come in handy. In fact, this is kind of a fun thing. A lot of the downtime that I have has been used for last year I actually got my dream car. It's a 68 GTO. And I've been fixing that up over the last few months. Don't know that much about cars, just the basics, but I've been teaching myself. A lot of time spent on YouTube, talking to my friends who are mechanics, things like that. And I got it looking pretty good, I'm not going to lie. So, not only is that a nice thing for me to get my mind off of things, but it's also something I've always wanted to do. Now I have the time to do it. I'm not going to justify the whole crisis we're in, but I will look at the bright side. And is that it's ready to go. She's looking real good. She runs good. And now I'm actually getting paid for all that work that I put in, because now photographers are seeing it online, and this goes back to, promoting yourself, social media. We can talk about that some more if you like, but people are seeing it. They love it. And I'm doing some photo shoots with her. So, it kind of comes back to you in that way. Your work pays off if you know how to get it done right.
I agree. And this is the time to actually sit back, reflect on your life. For an example, you are a great actor, but I bet you had times where you just sit there like, you know what, maybe this is a perfect opportunity where I could not get in my own way, because you become your own worst enemy if you think that way. You just have to say, what else can I do? And for an example, like I said, you are an actor, model, stunt person. You're sitting at home. Yes, your hands are tied because, and this is the next question I want to ask you. Yes, you can do auditions on Facebook and YouTube and share it. You can do auditions all day, but why not write your own script? Why not write your own story? Why not add more skills? Say, you know what, I'm not the best, for me anyway, I'm not the best reader. Why not read a book and say, you know what, I can actually accomplish small tasks or accomplishments, and it actually makes you feel better about yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. You talk about, writing scripts, and that's actually something that I'm doing. I have a group of about 30 or so people. We're all kind of represented by the same talent agency. And we all got together at one point, a lot of stunt people, a lot of actors, and we're just like, we have this time. What can we do? What do you want? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And let's put it together. And I kind of took the reins on that, and used my writing experience and wrote us a little short based exactly on what everyone wanted to get out of it. So like if this person wanted skills in sword play, this person wanted skills in wanted to show their fight choreography, so I made sure to write that in. The same with, this person wants to play this type of character, so made that all happen. We ended up filming it. It's in post-production now. It looks really good, honestly. But we're gonna add a lot of effects to it and whatnot too. It's a Star Wars fan film, so it's got a built-in audience already. And I gotta say, playing with lightsabers, not a bad way to spend a Friday night. We're in this cave, and people are walking by, and they're like, "What's going on here?" We're like, "We're having a cave rave." Just lightsabers everywhere. It was a good time.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I want to ask you, then we can ask about it's up and now, is finishing up on social media. For an example, for me, I always have all my episodes on, Facebook, and I almost said Facebook twice, Facebook and YouTube. But for you, and it's just two parts in one, how do you feel like, you made a statement saying, people now know who you are, and congrats, but you don't want to be stereotyped. I'll give you an example. You know me, and a lot of people know me as, "Oh, you're the kid." I hate people when people say that to me. "Oh, you're the kid with the talk show host. You're the kid with the disability." I mean, it's nice to have a stick, and, people recognize you for. But going back to you, how do you know when it becomes too saturated? Like you put in too much product out there and you start jamming it down people's throats. Like, where do you find that compromise?
I probably, me personally, I probably do a little bit of the opposite end of that, because especially with Instagram, that's a big thing in the industry. A lot of casting directors will go directly to your Instagram when they're considering you for a part, to see how many followers you have, to see how much you post, to see what kind of things you post, yada, 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 to see if it fits their brand, to see, it's become an entirely different limb of what you're doing out here. It's not just being a good actor. It's not just putting in the work there, but you have to put in your time on social media. Now, Instagram is the big thing for that right now. Might change, probably will. But I've spent the last few years, learning about that and experimenting with that. And I've got a good following, and I have some really loyal fans, and I'm very grateful. Whereas putting time into that, you kind of get an idea of, one, where your followers are, or most of them, when the best time to post is, what kind of posts. There's a whole theme to it, and it takes time to figure that out. Now, I haven't been posting that much recently, just because I've been doing less shoots, less, if I do post something, it's usually from a while ago, just like kind of, a throwback. Because that's the times that we're in, and the projects that we are working on, they're not done yet, so we can't really release them. So it's like it's a tricky situation to figure out. But there have been times where I'll just get excited, if I'm on it. Usually it happens when I'm on vacation, and I'll be in like Costa Rica or the Philippines or something like that, and I just took all these pictures of, diving with a sunken ship, with sharks and stuff. And it's fun. You want to get into it, but then 2 or 3 is usually the most people can handle in like a day or two. And then I'll notice like the like ratio will go down if I post more than that, just because people already kind of got the idea, and rub it in too much. I'm excited, but I also don't want it to come off as like, "Hey, look at me, where are you at?" Not my meaning, but I'm assuming that's how people take it, or they just get tired of it. There's a lot out there, and attention spans are low. Mine as well.
No, I agree. I noticed there's some parts where I would actually do a post, and give me a scale, one out of 15, say about 10 people would like it. But I do like it, and don't get me wrong, people love cats. I love cats, I love dogs. You do any post with an animal, it comes up on Instagram. Oh, this post is doing so great. It's doing 90% better than the other ones. Okay, maybe I should do more animal pictures.
Yeah, no, it's funny. And the algorithms are really different now too. I've noticed it's been changing over the past year specifically. Not quite sure what's happening with that, but I've talked to a lot of people in the industry that have mentioned that. I've got friends who are they've got 130,000, 140,000 people. It's like ridiculous, and they're real too. It's hard to tell these days because a lot of people buy their fans, and I've never been into that. I mean, it probably could help me, I guess, with my career if I went to like one of the good ones where they're real people, but I wouldn't feel right about it. There's enough fake in Hollywood. I don't want to add to that.
It's funny you should mention that. No, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
You're fine. No, I was just coming to the point that, like what you're talking about. One, okay, yeah, pets are adorable. I'm a big sucker for dogs. And, I grew up on a farm with all kinds of animals, riding horses and whatnot. So it's in my blood. But I think most people are like that on some level. But yeah, no, the Instagram, especially on Instagram, but other platforms as well, the algorithm is a big thing. And I'm not an expert on how that works yet. Still kind of diving in, and I guess we'll see what comes of it. Everything's changing all the time, so you just gotta kind of roll with it and do the best you can.
Absolutely. Now we're gonna take a quick mouse break, and when we come back, I'm gonna pass the show over to you, and you can ask me anything you want.
All right, cool.
Hi guys, my name is Kat Johnston.
This is Donna Drake.
This is Kayleen.
Hi, my name is Kara Svucek.
I'm Julia Brothers.
Jenna Curtis.
Hey, I'm Jenny Fon.
Hi, it's Mimi Chen.
Hi, my name is Ella Dorsch.
My name is Shauna Toft.
Hey guys, I'm Anastasia Edwards.
Hi, this is Jackie Nunez.
Actress Becky Hayes.
Hi, I'm Amelia Rose.
Hey there, I'm Saki Mieta.
Hi guys, I'm Alexandria Denise, and you're watching Keith Andrews' show.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching 707, I forgot the number, 717 of the Keith Andrews Network. I'm here as Jimmy Smith. Thank you for sticking with us. Now, it's the last 10 minutes left. I'm going to pass it over to you. But the first two questions I want to ask you first is, how do you know when you're ready to have your own spot at a convention? Like, say, for an example, I'm a big fan of Comic-Con and wrestling meet and greets. How do you know when it's time for you to say, you know what? I want to have a spot at a table. Do you think there's like a certain energy of a vibe that you pick up saying, this is the time, or does someone have to tell you, people recognize you on the street, now that's what you're looking for? Passing that over to you.
That's an interesting question. I like it. The tricky thing about that is I've been to many Comic-Cons, and I've actually had the pleasure of working them and having that, maybe not a table per se, but having that, I guess, persona on some level. See, I've worked for a show called Outlander a couple times, and it has a huge fan base. It's a Scottish romance time traveling thing. It's this whole thing, but I actually watched it. It's pretty good. But we have our own fan groups, specifically for me and about the 20 other guys that I work with on that. And people are diehards on it. So that's pretty interesting when you find out that you're being, essentially what we're doing, just if you haven't seen it, or what we do at Comic-Con, we promote the show. They hire, what were the requirements? You had to be over 6 foot, you had to be able to grow a beard, you had to be able to do a Scottish accent, and you had to look good in a kilt. And essentially, they'd rent us all kilts, and we'd run around shirtless, and they'd spray airbrush Gallic tattoos on us and everything. And we just caused mayhem, and it's a lot of fun. They call us the hunky hooligans of Outlander. And so that's kind of a fun thing, because I'll have people literally hitting me up from high school. It's like, hey, Jimmy, I'm glad to see you're doing good. Just so you know, like 5 of my friends are in love with you. I'm like, Okay, why? That's cute. Thanks. Where did that come from? They're like, oh, we're watching you at Comic-Con right now. I'm like, what do you mean you're watching me at Comic-Con? They're like, oh yeah, there's like 20 different groups of like people all around the world who like follow just you guys. And I'm like, I did not know that. That's interesting. So I guess we have our own type of fandom, which is pretty cool, you know? But not just that. The thing is with the events like that, there's you have to have your own fan base. And yes, I'll depending on what I'm doing, if people see me in a commercial that I've been in or like, a show that I, was a part of or something like that, I'll usually get hit up by a lot of people. I know people all over the world, but, from back home or, just wherever. And they'll be like, hey, we saw you on this. You're doing great. Cool. And so that's its own type of fandom. But for Comic-Con, it's a whole different monster. And I got to say, in order to have a table at something like that, you have to be known in some sort of franchise. For example, a lot of the people who do these fan films, there's actually a production company called Bat in the Sun that I follow a lot. You know them, yeah. So they do like the superhero beatdowns. Those are great. Those are the type of people who would have a table or would be approached on the street at Comic-Con because they make phenomenal videos, fan films of usually superhero characters and just going at it. And they have the best cosplayers and stunt people. And they really know what they're doing, So I am working with my talent agency who are big comic book fans like you and I. And we're working on stuff like that. This Star Wars fan film, if it goes well, could have some really good results like that, just paying homage to George Lucas and everyone involved with that. So we'll see how that goes. The long answer to your question is we'll see how that goes, and maybe we'll start something off with that.
No, absolutely. And first off, I want to give a big shout out to Bat in the Sun. Some of my favorite ones they did actually, was putting me on the spot. Batman Beyond and Spider-Man, Superman and 4. They said Wolverine and Wonder Woman was really good.
We were going to say that. Yep.
Oh, were you in it?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love that one. On Themyscira, right? Yeah, the volcano. Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
And I actually reached out to Bat in the Sun. Maybe you can help me put a good number word in. I said I would like to be a part of it, and I would love to have you guys on the show. They seemed interested, but we keep missing each other on phone tags. For me, I know I'm not like a phenomenal actor or anything, and I always consider myself kind of, it's funny, I consider myself like Gohan. I know I'm not like Goku with the hair and everything, but I can play Gohan because we have a similar hairstyle. We both wear glasses. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we could do something with that. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he doesn't look like Gohan. He will take shit. But, it's kind of like if you could connect with someone, that's the biggest thing. Bret Hart said in his Hall of Fame speech, it doesn't matter if you connect with thousands of people. If you can connect with that one fan and make an impression on that one fan, that's all what matters. And for me, it's all about connecting with everyone and making an impression. Go back to Comic-Con real fast. I talked to a couple people about, getting a table. And they said, oh, yeah, it's $400 a table. And I went, okay, $400 for 2 days. Because, like WrestleCade or big event. And they're like, oh, no, it's $400 for both days. So it's 4 Friday and 4 on a Saturday. That's $800. And it's like, okay, well, I know some wrestling fans. I know some wrestlers who I interviewed. By the way, I want to do a little plug for that in a couple minutes, who would be interested in sharing the table. The problem is, even if you share the table, like I'm friends with Raven, Justin Credible, Joe Gertner. Yes, it's great that you get to sit with your buddy, but they're only going to come to your table because they know who this person is. Yet they may look at me and be like, okay, I feel sorry for you. Let's do a picture or something. But it comes to a point where, like you said, you need to get yourself on every single thing. You know, if it's radio, TV, you know, just any strong media. You know, you said you worked with Bat in the Sun. You know, and you know if you can do something like that, and you're like the Star Wars thing you're working on, if you can make an impression on someone, then doors open up for you. But if you're someone like me who's struggling to work his way up, it's kind of like you're always battling. You never settle. There's always a plateau. There's always a mountain or a hurdle you have to get over to connect with the next audience.
I mean, yeah, there's always challenges along every avenue. You know, just to be clear, I didn't work with Bat in the Sun. I'm just a fan of theirs. But that's kind of the way that we're trying to go. You know, it's tough. One of those hurdles you're talking about is finding people you can rely on to make that content. And that's no easy task. You know, someone might be down for something, might be interested in something, and you get everything geared up to go, and then all of a sudden you find out they were all talk. You know, that's a big thing out here too. So, you know, it's a constant juggling of contacts and honestly your own jobs too. That's another thing. You get creative when you're on set or after set or before set, and you realize that if something's coming together, and this is a part that I don't like about production. Honestly, if I had my way, it would just be just acting all the time because I love it. These other things kind of come with it, and I've learned to do them, like working on, you know, fan films and like productions where I'm not getting paid specifically to act. So you have to get creative. And that's just, honestly, that's just me, being a survivor and being someone who always keeps their word and, you know, puts content out when you're going to put content out. But not everyone has that mentality or work ethic. So, you know, that's something you just have to find a way, you know, just like in these COVID times, you find a way to do something, find a way to be productive.
No, I agree with you. And one thing I do want to clarify, I do apologize. Yeah, I didn't mean to give anyone an illusion that you do work with Bat in the Sun. I was trying to compare Bat in the Sun to the Star Wars.
Gotcha.
But it would be nice for both of us to work from them. Hey, maybe we can get a job, right?
Hey, work is good.
No, absolutely. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, how can people follow you on social media? Are you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
I am on Facebook. I'm technically on all of those, but Instagram's my main avenue of work and putting up my content. I had my teacher, my professor in college made me get a Twitter, and I fought her at every step. So I still have that, but I've probably been on like 3 times in the past like 10 years. So don't worry about my Twitter, or you can follow it if you want to. It's Rascally Rabbit 1, I think. My Facebook is my name, Jimmy Flint-Smith. But, you know, honestly, the best way to get a hold of me is my Instagram. That's where I'm at most. And that's just my name, Jimmy Flint-Smith.
Nope, absolutely. And my last question for you, when I approached you to be on the show, not once, not twice, but 3 times, what was your honest opinion when I reached out to you for a third time? Were you like, oh, absolutely, or oh my God, not this guy again?
No, I love talking to you, Keith. You know, I like seeing how the show develops. Got the lightning in the background there. That's pretty cool. So I know you put time into that, and you know, I think we just have you know, similar thoughts on many things, and it seems like you have a good work ethic, and I respect people who have a good work ethic and a good attitude. So you got both of those things. You're a winner in my book, and I'm happy to be a guest always.
Absolutely. And one thing I do want to plug is on September 12th, I'm doing a special ECW special episode where I'm going to have Raven, just incredible. So our wrestling fans out there, make sure to like and subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network. And hey, maybe one day we can do like a Comic-Con convention or autograph signer.
Absolutely. That's the goal, right?
Absolutely. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. about wrapping up. It was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. I just want to say thank you for your time.